Arith, if you are one of those people that just clicks the dislike button because you disagree with my opinion, or you disagree with someone bashing your favourite writer or a comic that you like, seriously watch this. Don't click off it. I couldn't be more fair and open-minded with this. I didn't want to hate it. It's written by a writer I don't like, but I went in with eye hopes. I remember liking this issue, and there are bits I do like, but I was very disappointed to find that I didn't enjoy most of the issue, and even hated a lot of it. After that build-up, it seems counterintuitive to begin by throwing out a minor criticism that is so shallow and empty. But the cover, I don't like the cover. The cover is for another issue. This isn't an issue much about these two characters, Cheetah and the cat. A more appropriate cover would be Hank Gordon. Hank Gordon versus the Human Top, or Hank Gordon looking defeated. But I can understand that a few issues later we kind of touch on a similar Hank Gordon image on that one's cover, but it really belongs on this one. After the cover, we have some things I will praise, like this opening splash page by Al Milburn. This is great. I think a lot of you might overlook it and consider it as nothing more than an establishing shot, but it is properly a good piece of art showing the San Francisco Bridge. Something else I want to say is that the credits, all the people are credited with references to titles to issues of the official Andy book to the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition, the Marvel Andy books. We kick off with some Cheetah bits. She jumps off the San Francisco Bridge, not because she's suicidal, but because she wants to go for a swim. I'm not sure that Steve Englehart is actually important as much as he thinks he is important with this sequence. We're meant to be showing how a human and a cat size have integrated. And straight up, I don't like Cheetah, and I really don't like the amount of stories Steve Englehart spent focusing on her and the fucking cat people, or the way he wrote her as a complete nymphomaniac. Those are definitely Steve Englehart problems, but I have said before, I struggled to like the 5 members of this team for a long time down to how Steve Englehart wrote them. None of them were likeable to me, and in Cheetah's case, she is the only one who never overcame that hurdle. She never got past it, she never recovered from this writing. The problem being, his stories are among the most that anyone has done with Cheetah as a character, and other writers, future writers, are informed of her personality from these. And so she ends up someone I find it hard to read about because I really don't like her. Here we have her and her then lover, Hank Gordon, and they are in San Francisco visiting the cat and Satan's son, who helped out Cheetah with the cat people. It is nice to see the cat and Satan's son, and I have no complaints about how they are written. They are depicted completely fine. And what happens is they encounter one of my favourite Marvel guys, King Shark. It is a mercifully short fight with the 2 cat ladies clawing his costume and making it leak. I wish people would stop doing this to him, and then we could have a proper fight with him in a comic. The thing is, I hate the script in here so much. It's very Christopher clairvoyant during this action scene. That is not a compliment. The way Cheetah is announcing and proclaiming all sorts as she fights. And I'm sure some of you will argue, oh, that's just comics for you. That's how they talk in comics. But no, not this level. There is a distinct difference between characters talking while fighting and characters offering a fucking irrelevant essay when they are meant to be fighting. One thing I do like, and it's one of the main things I remember from this issue, King Shark's appearance is tied in with his appearance in the main Avengers book during Under Siege, in which he was one of the bastards of evil. He had been recruited to oppose Seaman, who had actually departed from the team just before the bastards of evil attacked. And so, after helping some of the others fight Hercules Man, Baron Zero didn't see any point in keeping King Shark around, so sent him off to distract people, and this is where he wound up. Now, I love Al Milgrom, but I feel it is saying something that the Captain Crunch advertisement looks every bit as detailed as some of the comic's actual art. I do like tying off this bit of continuity. King Shark, I like resolving that. King Shark, gloats to Hank Gordon about his involvement in the much earlier story where Hank Gordon's reputation was dragged through the mud. King Shark, he has been a member of the Bastards of Evil during that too. They helped frame Hank Gordon and exploited his fall from grace to try and drag him down further. Avengers 228 and 229 are what we are mostly referring to here, but of course it began much earlier in 212, and then the infamous 213, 217, 224, which I ate. And then after those issues, we finished it all off with 230. And then in West Coast Avengers number one of the ongoing series, Hank Gordon showed up to help out with the West Coast Avengers. He didn't want to be a superhero, he didn't want to be a member, he just wanted to help support them, he wanted to be their Alfred, kind of. And here, Hank Gordon responds to King Shark's taunting confidently, and he says that they only destroyed the hero, they didn't destroy the man. We also learn that King Shark was meant to rendezvous with another member of Baron Zero's Bastards of Evil, the Human Top, and most people neglect to realise he was considered part of the team because his participation was entirely in Captain America's comic. He was recruited to distract Captain America long enough so that the others could seize the mansion. He teamed up with Trapper to do so. You could argue Trapper, too, is an unofficial member. And Samantha Mamba from the Serpent League of America, she was the woman that got Hercules Man drunk and drugged him, and then delivered him to the mansion. Now, Cheetah breaks up with Hank Gordon, and the writing, the scripting, it's horrible. I cannot stomach it. Hank Gordon comes across like an incel. Everything is overwrought and irrational. It's like everyone has histrionic personality disorder. And our short scene with the other characters is as bad. Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Wonder Man, Iron Man. They, unlike Hank Gordon, have little reason to be so melodramatic, but even their day-to-day casual conversation is overselling and over-exaggerating everything. Their chatting is completely inauthentic. I fucking hate it. The issue picks up a bit after that. We get to what is the centrepiece in my opinion. I also want to say, yeah, I do appreciate the writing of Satan's Son. I bring it up because I liked Satan's Son, and these appearances in West Coast Avengers are his final appearances before his fall from grace. We have the human top, and Hank Gordon has devised a way to bait him and lead him into a trap so that they can catch him. And it involves the cat ladies forcing him to try and flee upwards, where he encounters his arch nemesis, Hank Gordon. Hank Gordon, a big mistake on his part. He wanted to actually face his would-be arch-enemy one last time and to finally put him away for good. I might be reading too much into it, but it is maybe a parallel or a mirror or a callback to Avengers 140, where... No, wait, I'll be off by one. 139. Avengers 139. That one was a big Hank Gordon defeats human top once and for all issue. It's a bit like this, in there's bad writing all over the place, but the summary of the story, the thing you mostly remember about it, is good. This is the reverse of that one. Hank Gordon was written as a dickhead in that issue, a very angry man, but he beat the villain once and for all. And here we have a calmed, less assured Hank Gordon, who thinks that he has beaten the villain once and for all, but instead, Human Top carts out the same shit King Shark did about Hank Gordon being a failure, and this time, keep in mind, Cheetah broke up with him in between the two encounters. This time, he loses his shit and nearly falls off the building in his rage. Luckily, to stop him from splatting off the floor, the cat saves him from falling to his death, and then the girls stop Human Top. You know, even the bit I liked, I don't like it much. I like it in concept. Human Top has gotten to Hank, and now we establish how he thinks he has nothing left to live for. This leads into one of the most overrated Avengers stories of all time, which is held up by its subplot about Hank Gordon attempting suicide, but discovering renewed confidence again, which only happened because Steve Englehart wanted to shoot him and he wasn't allowed, so he remade him as Doctor Who instead, and then got told he can't do that either, so he started wearing a red jumpsuit instead. I know I have already sent you enough and I have gotten you into trouble with the IRS, but Robert the subscriber, I might remove this page, get it framed and send it to you. This is amazing. Every letter, and I do mean every letter, is people saying how horrible Wonder Man's new costume is. I really will get this framed and send it to you. Not straight away, but I'll make this for you though. Of course, that means that this comic is going to be destroyed off camera. It is the second page in the wrap. The whole thing has to come apart, and I want to make it clear. Taking it apart is not me making a statement on the quality of the comic. I found this very disappointing, but I would love someone else to write this one. I think there's an actually decent plot and plan with this issue. The idea of bringing Hank Gordon low and the way they were going about it works, but the execution by Steve Englehart manages to either shoot blanks or shoot turds whenever it comes to each bit. I wouldn't say it's bad, it could be much better. I enjoyed remembering this as a good issue, more than rereading it and finding it mostly bad. 7 thumbs up.